Nice. We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Website Redesign Committee. Uh, I expect a fairly short meeting today. Oh, why can I hear myself?
Because you have the tab open.
Oh, that's why.
It does get disorienting.
Okay, tab closed. No longer hearing an echo. Cool. Yeah, I expect a pretty short meeting today since we're still iterating on design work, and I'm not sure how much motion has happened on content creation, but we can use this to at least sync up with a larger group about progress being made and see if there's more to talk about. Agenda has not changed much since last week, but we'll go through it for formality's sake and probably skip over good chunks of it. And then we'll talk about, give a little design update, and then Manil and me and other folks interested can talk about content creation again if you feel the need. Cool. First ticket is creating a branch of docs using RoundKit. Francisco, maybe you can give an update on how this is going.
Yeah, I put a quick update on the bug. I think either yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
Basically, the remark pull request has been taken in, so we're just only doing it with the remark stuff, which is great. Just less work for us. I might have gotten really excited about remark and then started rewriting some of our stuff in remark, so that might have slowed things down just a little bit. But yeah, it's going really well. I just, as a kind of aside, I think it's actually pretty exciting, all the work that Ruby's put in. I think because I don't know if you guys recall, but we use like another, like one of these things, I guess no one else uses, the generated JSON stuff. And all the work you put in, actually, I think like really expands the opportunities for like generating all this stuff. So generally speaking, great stuff. I would say like 20% of the way there to like having a pull request to show. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. Sweet. Glad to hear it's going well. As usual, let us know if we can help in any way.
Cool. Thank you.
Sweet. Do you want to leave the website redesign agenda label on this ticket so we keep bringing it up every other week, or do you want to take it off and let you come back with updates as it happens?
You mean the specific
Oh yeah, so there's on any issue, if it has this WR agenda label
I see
on the ticket, it'll get automatically added to the agenda for each meeting.
I think it's fine to leave one more. Like I'm hoping that next meeting is just like either like, oh yeah, the pull request got accepted, or like you guys help me get
Awesome.
accepted or something.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it on. I like getting the regular updates on it. Cool. Moving right along is basically our two stake in the sand tickets for content creation and design, which we should probably decide what to do with and actually open tickets with the right descriptions for each. But the two issues are issue number 60 and issue number 42, one being list getting started content titles, and that extended color palette ticket, which I've just been using as a launching point to talk about design work, but that's not what that ticket's for. So yeah, let's at least just go off and get a quick design update from Joey. Yeah, go for it, Joey. You want an update?
Yeah, we had a really great kind of a very high level get to know you kind of meeting yesterday between Tierney, Adam, Francisco, and myself, where we took a very, very early look at some possible design directions based on all of the content that has been written thus far. So I think we kind of came out of that meeting with a very clear to-do list, and I'm kind of excited to take all of the ideas and the discussions from yesterday and kind of see what we come up with. So I'm hoping that we'll circle back around in the next week or so with some refine stuff that we can kind of talk about and then get it to a point where we're comfortable sharing it with the group.
Awesome. Yeah, I can provide a little more context for folks too. This was Joey's in San Francisco, and Tierney is also magically in San Francisco this week. So we had kind of like a really high level meet and greet and knowledge dump from Tierney and myself. And Joey had prepared 6 like very high level experiments about what directions it could head in. So a very nitty gritty and high level conversation. How can something be nitty gritty and high level at the same time? But I feel like it's the best way to describe it.
Really was, yeah.
Yeah. So we went over some of those directions and talked about where to set true north, or at least the general direction that might be for design work. As we start getting higher fidelity mocks and better direction chosen out, we'll probably open it up to a more public venue as we keep iterating on content. But the worst thing at the very beginning is always design by committee. So we're hoping to keep.
And I would also say that, what I presented yesterday was more for my benefit than anybody else, just to kind of get, since I'm new to the community and new to the project, it was beneficial for me to kind of just mix some things together and kind of present them as am I even in the ballpark kind of thing. So it's that's one of the reasons why we don't want to share it with anybody, is because it's really more for my benefit than something else. So anyway.
And along the same vein, hopefully at some point this will be at a place where like it can be represented with bugs in the issue tracker. I don't necessarily think that's ready for that now. However, I thought maybe a couple things we talked about might make sense in the issue tracker, specifically like the Node Foundation stuff. I don't know if you want to start just having that in there as like, just to have a place to be like, how is this going to fit into the site or anything like that? Basically any like very content related stuff might make sense to extract in there.
Definitely. Good segue into content creation. To include, sorry, I'm taking notes. Issue tracker. Awesome. Cool. So segue into content creation. Big staple issue is issue number 60. I don't believe any significant work has been done to push this forward since last time. I believe last time we talked about identifying specific stakeholders and trying to assign them very specific and scoped documents to write, or ask them to do so. And we also agreed that we need to take a step back and think about the structure of these getting started guides and what the best format they should take is from a content.
So I did end up reaching out to one of the friends I have at Microsoft, who's a CDA and does a lot of this as part of her role. She expressed an interest and also asked if she could get some of her team members to do it as well.
Yes.
Sorry. So I think what we do need to provide them is like, cool, here's how you can start. Because I can throw the issue at them and they can kind of go try to pull that context, but I don't think that's necessarily a starting place for the content. And so that I think would be most helpful, of like, here's what we're looking for, even building out like a template of the structure of the document. And then they can go and kind of do their magic with it.
You have, so we have a template, but it basically has a section that says content goes here. Do we as a group have an idea of what format we'd like the actual pages to take? Or do we think that there'll be a consistent enough structure that we can provide top level headings? Or at what point are we essentially writing subject headings for them, depending on the page, handing it off for them to fill in content? Like, how granular can we make a template without getting too prescriptive?
Yeah, and I don't know. I personally have a lot of feelings around this. But one of the things I do think we need to do is like at least lay out the structure for them of like, cool, you're going to do an introduction to say what this is about. Then you're going to do whatever the content is, and like also have a style guide around like you're only going to use H2s and below and go down to H6, but try not to do that. And then, you know, have a conclusion as well. And then have a guideline of what they can like, can they go promote a product, or is, you know, does this need to be a you know, agnostic of, hey, you should go check out our product, which it probably does. So I'm just trying to like, we need to get those kinds of things of like, okay, I'm going to write content. What are my guidelines here? What can I do and what can I not do? And then how do I need to approach this in terms of like 5-paragraph essay type of structure? You know, there needs to be an intro, there needs to be a conclusion, and there needs to be content in the middle. Cool. And then also something like, how do I add screenshots? Is there a consistent formatting that they need to have? Things like that. That's probably getting a little bit too deep, a little bit too soon, but it is, you know, something that we're going to want to consider.
Yeah. So I just linked to a place in the website redesign repo, that documentation folder. That's probably the right place to put this guidance right now. We can, I believe it, yeah, it links out to voice and Toad guidelines. It gives some instructions on like where to put your markdown file for the article. And it gives that sample template, which is basically title goes here, content goes here. It would be pretty straightforward to flesh that out with, you know, those top level sections, literally what you just said. I wish I was taking notes on that, because we could
You're good, I can do that.
Yeah, but yeah, if you could take 10 minutes after this call and open up a PR with just that very limited getting started content, I think we could call that done.
Can I ask you a question with regard to this? So just from the like design perspective, when I was looking at this specifically, trying to figure out how to like kind of allow, like not get into one of these like deadlock situations where like, you know, they're waiting on design to be able to make the thing and Joey can't really make the design without seeing something. Are there any just like existing cool articles that we could like incorporate? Like maybe dev.to has just a slam dunk something article, and we could just reach out to them and they'd be happy to give to us. And then I can give that to Joey, and then he can like get some stuff that looks good with real content in it.
So does this content need to live in the site? Because I've written dozens and dozens of articles that I can give to you as like basically a mock.
If you think that those articles like would theoretically be able to live on a site, not that they will, then I think that would be super helpful for.
Yeah, I just for mocking up those pages, that would be awesome.
I guess one just related question to that. I don't know. I certainly know plenty of people on the Electron team, and maybe you guys do too. I just see that it's on here. Kind of just something I was curious about is like, you know, given our existing timeline, if people start writing stuff now, I think there's a good chance they might not see like the fruit of their labor for kind of a while.
Yep.
It should not be trying to reach out too early. Just I don't want them to like spit something out, get disappointed that like they don't see it for a couple months, and then we're getting ready to ramp up the site and we need them to like make adjustments and stuff, and then they've kind of like forgotten about it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to my original point around like, I'm with the initial batch of people that I think I personally have in mind that would be interested in doing this and have the cycles and the ability to do it like in their work time. That shouldn't be as much of an issue as it would be with someone who's coming in and just like dropping content and then, you know, going on and moving on. The people,
so we should not be further proactive beyond that. Like it sounds like that kind of initial.
Once we find like 2 or 3 people to contribute, maybe 5 articles total. Like I think that's the first set.
Cool.
Yeah, we won't make a public call for contributions until we're further down the line.
very scoped right now.
Yeah, but like that, the first few people to give feedback on what structure these should take, and to kind of refine that voice and tone, we can have those 5 articles to then say, this is what we currently have. We want it in this vein. Go make something similar. When we make the public call. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. So action item there. Tierney, you're going to flesh that out. And then we'll loop your Microsoft folks back in. And do you already have from that list of content topics kind of what they would probably like to do?
Sorry, muted. Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Cool. Can we just can we say you're spearheading that?
Sure.
Sweet. Sounds good. Yeah, and like I said, short meeting. That's all we got on the list to chat about. Anybody else have other topics they want to bring up?
Oh, just, I don't know if you wrote down the action item, just getting Joey just the samples.
Yes.
Oh, I
yeah.
did you in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
You can use those, and I can give you different ones if you don't want to use those.
Oh no, this is great. No, thank you. Zoom chats go away once you quit the meeting, and I did not see that they popped up. So
there you go. There they are again.
They're now linked in the Google Doc too.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Cool. Reach out to Microsoft folks. Cool. Awesome. Anything else people want to bring up in website redesign? Awesome. Nice and efficient meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Adam.